So you guys kind of wanted a video of with commentary. So I guess I would start out by saying, kind of go over what I do for a business. It's called Psalms Custom Harvesting, and what we do is we do custom harvesting for dairy farmers in our area, which is East Central Wisconsin. I do anything from field work to planting, hay work. We cut, merge hay, chop it, harvest it, haul it back to the farms, pack it, put it in silos or bags or bunkers, whatever the farmer's using. That's pretty much, and then we do manure hauling in the fall or in the spring, whatever the farmer might want, corn silage harvesting as well, fall tillage. And we also run 3 semis. We'll haul forage with those when needed, and we also haul a lot of manure. The business, we have to find farms that are willing to hire the work on. Nothing's guaranteed. There are no contracts being signed, so it can be kind of tough to keep things going. Always looking for new work, trying to keep current customers happy. It's a challenge. Been doing it for 9 years. It's been going on a 10th season. I started in 2010. My dad had a dairy farm here at this location. He milked cows, 65 cows. Then I always worked on the farm with him. I moved off and started working in a factory. That wasn't for me. In the meantime, one of my older brothers bought the cows from Dad and started milking here. And then I was doing excavating for 9 years. I did final grading with a track loader. I enjoyed that. Beat the heck out of my body. Lots of hours. And my uncle and I have the same cat that I ran when I was at the excavating company. Now it's a track loader. And I still do projects with that on the side, and I enjoy it. My dad did custom big square baling, still does. Started that in '97, I believe, with one 3x3 LBX, or he's got LBX 332s now. The time started with a Heston. We did that. He had 2 balers eventually, and and then when I was working at the excavating company, things were getting slow. A lot of farmers in the area were looking for someone to come do custom harvesting with a self-propelled chopper, but they just wanted a chopper. They didn't want everything else that came along with it. So I had the bright idea, if you would say that, to buy a self-propelled chopper. Talk to my dad and a lot about it, talk to my uncles. So I started out with a Kloss 860, and I pulled chopper wagons behind the chopper, and that was pretty interesting. It was a learning experience. I worked at the excavating company full-time at first, and I chopped at night when I got done, and then on the weekends. By that fall, I had lined up enough corn silage that I decided to quit at the excavating company, and I just focused on the harvesting. The whole time while that was going on, my dad did custom baling still. I helped with that, helped work on his balers, run them, and my brother and sister-in-law were milking cows here. They milked cows for probably 3 years. Things got tough and they moved on. So then barn here was empty, and my dad tried cash cropping that first year with the land, and that didn't work out the way he wanted. He wanted less stress, didn't want the worries of what Mother Nature was going to give us, and he moved on and decided to rent the land to a neighboring farmer. And then we did all the field work still. We worked the land, picked the stones, maintained the land, sprayed, planted. I did the cutting and merging on the hay ground, and then they would just harvest it with their machine, and they did all the corn silage. And then my dad expanded, got a third baler, and then we ran that, kept them pretty busy between that and the chopping. What was I saying? The first winter I got a part-time job at a factory I used to work at, and worked there. We didn't have a heated shop like we do now. I worked in the cold shed when it was warm enough that you could feel your hands, and work out there for a few hours when I had time, and so on. The next year, a couple of years go by, and my dad bought a fourth baler, and we ran 4 big square balers, all LBX 332s. One was a roto cut, the others are packer cutters, and then I also did the chopping, and it started to take off pretty good. Kept me pretty busy. Did quite a few jobs where it was just come in when the farmers were too far behind, and we would chop first cutting hay a lot of times because they were still busy doing field work, planting, and so on. And then we'd fill in whenever they needed a hand. And then took some time to get a good customer base going. It was a struggle. And then, one thing after another just snowballed, and we tried to keep up with the demand and buying equipment. One big thing that came into play was labor. My uncles would help a lot, and friends of the family, and a lot of neighbor farmers that were retired would come and help. So that was a big help. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be where I am now. Those guys made a big difference in keeping me going and helping me out, and a lot of them are still around, and pretty much all of them. And I have a couple young guys that help now. So that's the business. It isn't pretty. It isn't fun at times, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenges that it brings. The people I meet, customers have come and gone over the years, and I don't have any hard feelings on that. I learned a lot from everyone that was involved, everybody that took time to teach me and help me get my bearings in this business. If it wasn't for my father and my uncles and my grandpa, I would never be doing this today. It's one of those things with farming, it gets in your blood. Everybody says that, but I think it's true, and it's really tough to get it out. It's one of those things you just have a drive to do, and you get up and you want to do it. You want to be involved in it. I really enjoyed the cows when we had the dairy farm here. If I would have had my way, I would have wanted to keep milking cows and just farming the way my dad did. I enjoyed that as a kid. It was very tough and challenging at times, but it's made me who I am today. But it didn't work out, and I started the custom harvesting. And I don't regret it. I enjoy the equipment a lot. I like the challenges of finding what's wrong, figuring it out, and trying to fix it on my own. I take on a lot of projects and try and make it through. If I have troubles, I have good contacts at dealers that they'll kind of give me advice, or I'll tell them where I'm stuck or my questions, or what I've done to troubleshoot, and they'll usually give me some pretty good advice to what to check or do. And as you can see with the project here behind me, we're not afraid to try. So, and I think that goes a long ways. This here is one of my Fendt tractors. It's a 924. It's a 2014, I believe. It does have urea. I don't have any issues with that. It's been a really good tractor. It has front 3-point PTO, GPS, auto steer on it, everything that I would ever need in a tractor. It goes 33 miles an hour down the road. It's a CVT transmission, constant velocity transmission, so it can go any speed you want, no shifting, no banging, no bouncing around in the cab from the power shift, and it's slick. It is the machine to have for my business. It's got independent front suspension, so you've got, if you can see it here, large A-arms in the front. It's got air ride cab, air ride seat, and it's just a nice ride for the older guys that drive for me. They drive for 12, 14 hours a day, whatever it might be, and they say they don't feel like they've driven that many hours. They feel like their body hasn't been beat up from the machine. And you know, we go to farms where fields are rough, lanes are rough, driveways are rough. Guys don't have the money to maintain or repair them, so it's kind of a nice thing to have, because it takes care of that beating the crap out of yourself all day long. So the business, that's kind of I guess I don't really want to get into the equipment too much on this video. That we can talk about that later. If you guys got questions about a certain piece of equipment that you want to see or whatever, just let me know in the comments. I'd like to try doing more videos and see if I can keep up with it, keep you guys in the loop, give you hopefully a different point of view than the other channels from the custom harvesting side of it here in Wisconsin, and the challenges that we face, and go from there. So watch the video, tell your friends, subscribe, I guess is a big thing to say. I don't know, I'm not a YouTuber. So hope you enjoyed.